My first question is geared towards more regular show. Pops, where'd you come up with the voice of it?
I think just looking at sketches and drawings first, and then probably just playing around with. I think his voice started a bit more lower and just more my own voice, and then he kind of got higher sounding and goofy. Probably higher just to make him different from Benson. But,
you also do Muscle Man, right?
yes.
But those are two different variations.
Yeah. Muscle Man's all in the throat.
I'm like, Pops. Where's Pops?
Pops is like somewhere.
Son, if you wouldn't mind, could you do any of the voices that you do on the show?
Oh, of course. I'm Pops. I'm Benson. Hello. Nice to meet all of you. And I'm Muscle Man. Hey, how's it going?
All right, thank you.
So
Pete, how was your work on Futurama?
It was good. It was my first job. I was 19, and I did character layout, which is sort of pose the characters out in the scene, and then they time it out and send it to Korea to be in between. But it was amazing. A really great learning experience, and super proud to work on that show. I worked mostly on second and third season, and it was, looking back, you're like, it was just a great show. It was really cool.
Would you say there's anything from the past that kind of influences your work on Uncle Grandpa?
Everything. Really. I mean,
anything special though?
Yeah, what's that?
Anything special though?
The Bible.
Yeah.
I'll report that, sure.
I don't know, The Far Side, Gary Larson, Mad Magazine, old Looney Tunes cartoons, yeah, Max Fleischer, Tex Avery, all that stuff.
I was going to ask you, because it is such a weird, far-out show that it's very Mad Magazine friendly. How does it feel to like just put everything out there and just go for weird?
It's awesome. It's super freeing. It's like, I can't believe they let me do it, to be honest with you. Half the time.
You have to tell that story from yesterday.
Which one?
Sergio.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Mad Magazine, at the WonderCon in Anaheim, Sergio Ogones from Mad Magazine and Gru and everything was there, and I was like, oh, I gotta just go say hi to him. And no one was, he's at his booth, and no one was really coming up. So I went over and I talked to him, and he recognized my name off the badge, or just like he was like, what is that name? And I told him about the show, and he's like, he saw the show, and he's like, you're crazy. He's like, you're something's going on up there with you, and that was like the greatest compliment anyone could ever get. Like, this is like someone that when I was like 8, I would like, stare at his drawings in Mad Magazine for hours and try to copy them in my notebooks and stuff. And it's like, he knew something I made. It was amazing. It was really like cooler than meeting, I don't know, the Bruce Springsteen or something. It was like, for me, it was like.
Do you ever feel like you have certain limitations to just how sort of out there you go with what it is that you create?
The only thing we try to stay consistent is character archetypes. We try to make the characters consistent, so if they do weird stuff, it's how would they react to it specifically. So, but no, not really any limitations. The limitations is our mind. It's like, okay, what do we do next type of thing. And it's challenging, when you do a TV show and you have to do so many episodes. It's always like you do a really good board or storyboard or episode, and you're like, all right, that was a good one. Okay, let's do it again. Let's be funny again. Let's be funny again, and then again in a different way, and again and again and again. So it's challenging. So we just we have little writer retreats. We get together and we do writing games, stuff like that, to try to come up with ideas, brainstorm.
Eric, how was your work in Batman Arkham City?
Oh man, I'm rarely asked to do like action-y video games, because come on. But I guess that's the best part about being a voiceover artist, is that you can kind of just throw yourself into different situations, and the same people that usually voice direct regular shows, but not regular shows, I know you guys was it Chris Zimmerman,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
She's another woman that does a lot of video games. Colette Sunderman brought me on to do Batman, and I played an Asian doctor on that, because, come on. Yeah. But it was great. There will be hardcore fans of that stuff that were like, yeah, I was playing that game, and you were that Asian doctor that was kidnapped by the Riddler. Cool, okay, I'll see you later. happened in the restroom 5 minutes ago. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I'm super happy to be called into work whenever I can. So.
I have a question for Sam. Like being 3 like major voices on regular show, what's it like when you're recording an episode, and like if you go back and watch it and see like what a big like amount of the episode you are, like what does that feel like? Almost like a one-man show kind of thing.
Yeah, well, the first time it just made me laugh to like hear my voice coming out of a cartoon. Even in school when JG would just show me like the animatics. He'd show me first because he was really secretive, but he was like, "Oh, Sam already worked on it, so I'll show him at least." And then I would just be sitting in the computer lab like laughing. No one would know what I'm laughing at. No, yeah, I think I just get a kick out of it.
It's pretty funny watching it. I haven't seen it that often, but he talks. You go back and forth without thinking, I think.
Yeah, do you do that? Do you do like runs? Or do you actually switch characters and have to talk
We do
to
at least the first time. I'm sure sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So and then we have to go through.
He's the Mel Blanc of that show. You know? Literally, all the characters.
So like when you record, do you do it like do you do them individually, or do you go from like character to character, like you'll be having a conversation with yourself almost in the recording?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that once, and then we'll just pick up one line at a time usually, or do sections, or sometimes even I'll just read for one character through the scene, and then someone else will read for the other ones, just so I can focus on one character.
All right.
Paula, what should we expect this year for a regular show? More craziness?
Yeah, there's been a few episodes that nearly killed me and my art team, just because it's really fun to work really hard for JG. He works really hard himself, and then they throw these episodes at us, and I'm like, God, so many characters, so many wild things happening, and of course a lot of stuff gets destroyed, but there's going to be a lot of emotional drama with that love triangle. Mordecai, Margaret, and Cloudy J. There's some big stuff happening for Muscle Man. Some big drama with Muscle Man. Yeah, some really big special characters. We've got some half-hour specials, and they're going to be amazing.
Okay, Paula, could you talk a bit about the approach you take to the art style on the show?
Yeah, you know, JG, as Sam said, he likes to keep things to himself. He's pretty secretive with his work, but he and I had worked together on Camp Laszlo and then Flapjack, so he came to me and said, I don't know how to do the art, can you help me? And that was it. We just worked together from there. He had some artists that influenced him. He had a very specific look in mind. It's called Regular Show for a reason. He wanted those backgrounds to seem like everyone's life, everyone's home. Like, my job as the art director is to make sure that those backgrounds and all the artwork support the animation and the writing and just help tell the story, plus it out. And then I've got to make sure that we can actually produce the show, like an 11-minute episode every week. So I think it all worked out. I was actually kind of worried during the pilot stage that the backgrounds and the artwork might look a little boring, but he kept reminding me it's called Regular Show for a reason. And then when we actually screened all those Cartoon Institute shorts, you guys remember that, the first few that came on, I was like, God, I can't look at anything, I can't concentrate. But when Regular Show started, that theme music started, and it all worked. I'm so happy, and I'm glad that people like the look of the show. It's fun to work on.
I have a question for Pete. What was it like when you pitched an idea like Uncle Grandpa to Cartoon Network?
It was pretty terrifying. You know, they asked me, Craig McCracken at the time actually asked me, he saw, I pitched something to him a long time ago before he asked me, and it was like an incarnation of Uncle Grandpa. He came to my cubicle and was like, you should try to pitch this for the shorts program. And I was like, okay, you know, you listen when someone like that says that, you know, very talented guy. That's what I look up to. And so I went back and I tried to think of an idea. I kept postponing my pitch. I'm like, you can't postpone it again, you have to do it. So I just like sat down and from beginning to end did it, storyboarded it out. And the reason there's a photo of a tiger is because I can't draw tigers. And, and then it just like I was just like, I'll fix it later. You know, for the pitch, it'll get the idea across. And then everyone loved it. I was like, yeah, I did that on purpose. It's just funny how like things that because like where you're under the gun or something and you have to get something done. It's just like happy accident, kind of thing, like Bob Ross used to say. And then you went in there, and I didn't know. I showed it to my girlfriend, wife girlfriend at the time, and I was like, she was like, "This is really great." I was like, "It is? Okay, good, because I gotta get in my car and speed to the studio. I was working at home, and I went in, I pitched it, and it went over really good. And they told me that day that like you're gonna make it. So not the series, but the pilot at that time.
That's great.
And it was amazing. And it's like, and for a kid who just grew up loving cartoons and wanting to do this and finding out that it was an actual job that you could do and maybe have a career, to have a show now, it's sometimes it's just surreal.
Where did you get the Pizza Steve idea from?
If you really want to know, I had another show. No one's ever asked me this, but this is a good story. So I had another show and it didn't go well, and I was a little bummed out. And you're like, all right, and I was a little confused at the time what to do next, and I was like, you know what? A buddy of mine was in the office with me, and I had a dry erase board in my office, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a pizza with sunglasses. Because who cannot like a pizza with sunglasses? It's so iconic stuff. I'm like, wait, no one's really done this before. It's like kind of like a weird mascot for a food chain or something. I wanted that. I always loved how cheesy like those type of mascots from the 80s, 90s, 70s, all through a time. And I did it, and I called them Stew Slice first. I don't know why. And then I went to Pizza Joe, and then we couldn't do Pizza Joe because of legal concerns or whatever. So
we ate there last night.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Casey Alexander, who's my creative director now on the show. Was like, Steve's kind of a jerk. We knew the character was like a egomaniac kind of jerk. He's like, Steve. Hope no one's named Steve here. He kind of has a jerky sound, Pizza Steve, because it doesn't really go right. And I was like, he named him, and then so it was literally like just being like, I'm gonna sell this dumb idea, and then you're like, actually, you know what? This could actually work. Like, and Uncle Grandpa's this weirdo old magical man was the thing. It's like, of course he's gonna have a friend that's a dinosaur or a piece of pizza. It's like kind of a Pee-wee's Playhouse thing. So it all kind of worked together. It's another one of those accidents, It's just like you don't know where inspiration will come from. You just have to like be yourself, do stuff, and something will hit you.
And if people laugh at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. It's as pure as that,
So what's it like coming up with ideas for that show? Like what goes into that when you like have to like write down like when you come up with like episodes?
There's a lot of different types of episodes. We do ones that are very we're helping a kid episode where Grandpa helps a kid, and we kind of have a structure to how those are a thing, and then we go like we try to do kind of Seinfeld-esque ones where it's like, well, they'll go to the movies. How would these characters go to the movies? And you write to their character, you know what I mean? Like how would Uncle Grandpa eat popcorn? He wouldn't eat it like a normal person. He'd eat it weird or something, like. So you try to figure it out that way and write from there. And we have brainstorming group sessions. I really give a lot of responsibility to my storyboard artists and writers to invest in the show and let their ideas shine through. Like empower them so they get inspired, and then they'll bring a lot of ideas to the table. So we all try to go away, come up with ideas, and then have meetings and swap ideas and stuff like that.
What do you feel like the role of magic is in your show?
Probably it's like for imagination. I feel like the idea of Uncle Grandpa is that he comes and it's like he's like a sort of a facet of the world's imagination or something, and the magic makes him sort of unique, right? Special in the normal world, but also he can bring items along with him or take them out of belly bag here, and it helps support the adventure and further the story and be creative and turn the story and stuff like that. So it's kind of use it that way.
In a regular show, there was an episode where Rigby changed his name to Trash Boat. Why Trash Boat?
Who knows? Rigby's stupid.
He did look around the room. He saw a pile of trash, He saw a picture of a boat on the wall, and that's where he got it. Yeah, well, I had to do the artwork. So, we had a background with the photo of the boat, or the painting of the boat.
That's one of my best friend's nicknames.
Trash boat, really?
Yes.
That's
We have
awesome.
one more question.
What are the chances of a crossover between Uncle Grandpa and regular show?
I don't know.
Has anyone approached you?
No, no one has. I don't know.
It's happening right now.
right here. Yeah.
Well, this is strange!
History in the making.
Yeah, it would have to come somehow organically, and like have to be hanging out with JG or seeing somewhere, and some kind of joke would happen, and then
We'd all go
that
from
could
there.
work. Yeah, but it hasn't happened yet. So.
Alright.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Thank you so much. Great talking to you.
Appreciate it.
Totally. Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, you too.